I'm getting ready to go on a road trip to share our discipleship ministry, Amazing Creatures, with churches and friends in Texas and Colorado and New Mexico. And oftentimes when I'm traveling, I love traveling, and when I'm in the airport, I think of an incident that I had a number of years ago. I was on my way to a conference. It was very early in the morning, and I just remember wanting so badly a cup of coffee and maybe a bagel. And I walked up to this one particular place where they had coffee, but that metal screen that keeps people from getting in there was down and it wasn't quite open yet. So I waited patiently behind the screen until they opened up, and soon enough the screen started to rise, and I knew they were open for business. So I quickly stepped over to a register that I thought was open. Well, as it turned out, it wasn't open. And it also turns out that there were other people that were waiting as well. And so they went to the open one. And since I had been waiting for several minutes, even before people had gathered, I just simply moved over to that register. And all of a sudden, people were going, hey, you know, back of the line, back of the line. And there was one guy in particular that really provoked me. Now, when you look up the word provoke in the dictionary, it says giving rise to an unwelcome or emotional reaction. And that's what this guy did. Now, he was probably 30 to 40 years old. He was definitely taller than I was and leaner than I was. I just remember looking up at his eyes, and I just said to him, "Would it make you feel better if I went to the back of the line?" And all he said was, "Are we going to have a problem here?" And I was pretty confident, based on his size and age, that we weren't going to have a problem if I pressed the issue any further, but I was going to have a problem. So I did what I should have done in the first place, and I went to the back of the line. It is so easy to get provoked over things. And what possessed me to take this guy on? Maybe it was I didn't have my coffee that morning. Maybe it was so early. But I was ready to confront him, and I did so. But there are so many things in this world that can provoke us, and they're righteous things. I think of what we read in the book of Acts, where Luke, the physician, writes of this account where Paul is in Athens on Mars Hill. And it says in Acts chapter 17, verse 16, "Now while Paul was waiting for them at Athens, his spirit was provoked within him as he saw that the city was full of idols." There are a lot of things this side of heaven that provoke us. Things that are wrong. Things that only God can repair, only God can fix. Things that are so much more important than a cup of coffee and a bagel. And thanks be to God that we have the Holy Spirit who will stir our hearts to be provoked by the right things rather than the wrong things, which can lead to a confrontation that is not God-honoring, and in my case, most likely would have brought about some bodily harm.